A shocking clue may have just changed everything we thought we knew about the fallout from the recent chaos. With the dust finally settling and Jen's officially behind bars, you would think the canvas is resetting to normal. But something isn't adding up anymore. We are looking at a massive power vacuum, specifically regarding a certain Gothic castle sitting on a very famous private island. A new detail could expose the truth about who is really pulling the strings, and it points directly to an upcoming explosive collision between two men who rarely cross paths, Jason and Valentin. Guys, we might be on the verge of the biggest real estate war in the history of the show, but this is not just about a deed to a house. It is about a massive undercover conspiracy. Let us start by looking at a specific detail that has been staring us right in the face since the momentous 16,000th episode. Jason returned to town, but he is fundamentally different. He survived his brutal captivity, and his immediate reaction was to completely cut ties with Sunny and the dangerous underworld. He made it crystal clear to everyone that his only priority is Danny. He wants peace. He wants isolation. He wants to protect his son from the dangerous crossfire of the criminal lifestyle that has haunted him for decades. But if you ask me, his sudden thirst for a quiet, secluded life is the ultimate clue. Where in town can a man truly disappear while still hiding in plain sight? Where can a father and son live without the constant threat of enemies knocking on their front door? He needs a fortress, and there is only one true fortress available right now. That brings us to the legendary island estate. With Jens officially arrested and his assets likely being seized by the authorities, the massive Gothic castle is almost certainly going to hit the auction block. The government will want to liquidate that property fast. This estate is not just a house, it is a literal stronghold. It is surrounded by freezing waters, accessible only by a heavily monitored boat launch, and shrouded in centuries of dark history. For a man like Jason, who is desperately seeking a fortified sanctuary to shield Danny from violence, this secluded island sounds like the perfect off-the-grid hideaway. He can control exactly who comes and goes. But it may not be a coincidence that this highly secure property is becoming available exactly when Jason needs an impenetrable fortress to call home. Now, let us connect the dots on the other side of the chessboard. Valentin is finally a free man, thanks to the secret deal brokered with the intelligence agents. He is back in town, he is romancing Carly, and he is trying to rebuild his life after being on the run. But Valentin is tied to that island by blood. The castle is his birthright. It is the ultimate symbol of his family's dark, twisted, yet undeniably powerful legacy. After losing control of the estate and seeing it tainted by the likes of Jens and Ross, Valentin is going to want his home back. He will undoubtedly view the upcoming government auction as his golden opportunity to reclaim his ancestral home and restore his honor. He has the wealth, he has the deep emotional motivation, and he has the sheer stubborn will to make it happen. So, picture this incredibly tense scenario. The auction day finally arrives. Valentin walks into the room, fully expecting to easily outbid every wealthy socialite in town and walk away with the deed to his family. He probably has his checkbook ready, feeling completely confident. But then, the unthinkable happens. Jason steps up and places a bid that completely shatters Valentin's financial ceiling. If this detail is true, it changes the entire dynamic of the show. Valentin would be absolutely blindsided. He would look at Jason, a former enforcer who just walked away from his primary source of income, and wonder how on earth he could afford to buy a multi-million-dollar private island and a massive stone castle. That's where things become interesting. How could Jason possibly outbid a billionaire heir? Let us really dig into the finances here, because something feels off. Jason has money, sure. He saved up plenty during his decades working alongside Sunny. But buying a private island, paying the exorbitant property taxes, and maintaining a massive Gothic castle requires generational wealth. It requires a staff, security teams, boat maintenance, and the kind of liquid capital that Jason simply should not have right now, especially after being held captive and stripped of his resources for so long. If Jason suddenly produces bottomless pockets to win this auction, it means someone else is backing him. Someone with infinite government funding and a very specific agenda. He could not do this alone, which means he is acting as a proxy for a much larger, much more dangerous organization. This brings us to the massive, overarching theory of this entire scenario. What if the intelligence agency never actually let Jason go? We all know he was released because of a secret deal, but agencies like that do not just forgive and forget. They operate in the shadows, using leverage and blackmail to control their most valuable assets. Our big reveal theory is that Jason is secretly acting as a black ops agent for them, and the agency is entirely bankrolling his purchase of the island. On paper, Jason will be the proud new owner of the estate. But behind the scenes, the agency is the true puppet master, pulling his strings and forcing him to secure the property on their behalf. They are using his desire for isolation as the perfect cover story to infiltrate the most mysterious location in town. The bigger question is, why would this shadowy agency want the castle? We have to look at the dark history of that island. The estate is built on top of a massive labyrinth of secret catacombs, hidden laboratories, and ancient tunnels. For decades, Valentin's ancestors used those underground bunkers to develop terrifying technology, mind control formulas, and most recently, the cold fusion prototype that Ross and Jens were trying to weaponize. The agency knows that the castle is an absolute treasure trove of dangerous, highly classified research. They cannot just send a team of tactical agents to excavate the island without drawing massive public attention and sparking a global incident. They need a quiet, subtle approach to uncover whatever dangerous secrets are still buried down there in the dark. That is exactly why they need Jason to be the buyer. By secretly funding Jason's purchase of the estate, the agency creates the absolute perfect cover story. The public just sees a weary father buying a secluded home to protect his son from underworld violence. No one suspects a thing. But once Jason is officially moved in, he will be tasked with secretly mapping the catacombs, recovering hidden hard drives, and securing any leftover prototypes that Jens or Ross might have missed. Jason becomes the ultimate Trojan horse. He gets the physical isolation he desperately wants for Danny, but the terrible price he pays is living as an undercover operative in his own home. This could explain a lot about his sudden detachment from his former life and his refusal to fully explain his time in captivity. If this theory is true, the aftermath is going to be absolutely explosive. Let us start with Valentin. Who stands to lose everything in this scenario? Valentin. He will be stripped of his ancestral home by a man he respects but barely knows. The bitterness will completely consume him. Valentin is a man of immense pride, and watching Jason casually occupy the halls of his family's castle will drive him insane. He will not just accept defeat and walk away. He will start investigating. Valentin's sharp, calculating mind will immediately sense that Jason's sudden wealth is a complete facade. He will start digging into Jason's finances, completely unaware that he is poking a sleeping bear. Valentin's quest to reclaim his legacy will put him on a direct collision course with the most dangerous agency in the world. But the most tragic consequence of this theory falls directly on Danny. Jason's entire motivation for leaving Sonny's organization was to keep Danny safe from bullets and territorial wars. He genuinely believes that moving to an isolated island will give them the peace they deserve. But if Jason is secretly working as an operative, searching for deadly technology in the dark dungeons beneath their living room, he is bringing the danger right into their home. Danny will be sleeping directly above a ticking time bomb. If rogue agents, remaining loyalists to Jens, or even a highly suspicious Valentin come snooping around the island in the middle of the night, Danny will be caught right in the middle of a high-stakes espionage war. Jason's attempt to save his son might be the very thing that destroys him. We also have to deeply consider the psychological toll this will take on Jason. He just survived a brutal, soul-crushing captivity. He is a profoundly changed man. He wants to be a father, not a soldier following orders. but the agency is forcing him back onto the battlefield against his will. Every time he looks at Danny playing on the beautiful grounds of the estate, Jason will feel the crushing weight of his massive secret. He will have to lie to Carly, the person who knows him best. He will have to lie to Sonny. He will have to pretend that he is just a retired man enjoying his wealth while secretly communicating with his handlers in the dead of night. The physical isolation of the island will quickly turn into a devastating psychological prison for him, isolating him from everyone who cares about him. Eventually, the truth will have to come out, and the inevitable collision course between Jason and Valentin will be legendary. Valentin knows the dark secrets of that castle better than anyone alive. If Jason is down in the catacombs looking for hidden technology, Valentin will eventually catch him. Imagine the cinematic scene, a tense, deadly standoff in the dark, damp tunnels beneath the castle. Valentin demanding to know why Jason stole his home, and Jason, bound by strict secrecy and blackmail, unable to explain the truth. It would be a battle of wits and physical prowess between two of the most dangerous, highly trained men in town. The stakes could not be higher, and the fallout would ripple across the entire canvas, deeply affecting Carly, who is currently romantically connected to Valentin but fiercely loyal to Jason. We may be looking at the beginning of something huge, guys. The writers have meticulously cleared the board by taking down Jens and Ross, but they have left the ultimate prize sitting completely unguarded in the middle of the harbor. The truth could be closer than anyone realizes. Jason's sudden desire for isolation, his mysterious release from captivity, and Valentin's burning need for his family legacy are all colliding at the exact same moment. There may be more to this story than just a simple real estate transaction. Someone may not be ready for what is coming next. Whether it is Valentin losing his birthright forever, or Jason realizing he has traded one dark prison for another. Keep your eyes closely peeled on that island, because the real war is just getting started, and it is going to be spectacular.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.